So it seems we need to address a recurring phantom, a persistent, rather quaint accusation that surfaces whenever one dares to speak of systems, control, or the quiet decay of, well, everything. The accusation, of course, is that I am in fact a socialist, or if the accuser is feeling particularly adventurous, a communist agitator. This would sound especially ridiculous if you knew me a little better. I was born in the USSR, one of the tightest straitjackets ever stitched for Russian individuality, 10 years before it fell apart. The Soviet system was a masterpiece of absurdity. Everything from how people thought to how they lived was soaked in fear, control, and special kind of that's just how it is, nobody could explain. Home was a rule book you never got to read, unwritten laws with a steep price for screwing up. School was a prison with chalkboards. Even summer camps had fences I dreamed of climbing over. Early on, I knew freedom was the only thing I wanted. I know how the Iron Curtain feels. Even though I was still very little, I had a very clear understanding of that system, and freedom wasn't supposed to be included in it. I would never want to go back there, not even for a minute. Let's be clear, this is not a political debate. I'm not here to endorse 5-year plans, debate the merits of collective farming, or argue the finer points of central economic planning. Honestly, such discussions often feel like arguing about the optimal arrangement of deck chairs on a sinking ship. I wasn't ever into politics until the politics ruined my life in 2022, and since then I'm still trying to find a quiet place to live and work without being constantly shamed for the color of my passport. My concerns lie elsewhere. When I speak of the system, I'm not referring to a specific political ideology, be it capitalism, socialism, communism, or the latest flavor of neoliberalism. I am talking about a structure, a pervasive, self replicating algorithm of control that defines, filters, and ultimately seeks to neutralize anything that deviates from its pre approved schema. Think of it as the ultimate operating system. It runs on compliance. It optimizes for predictability. It rewards conformity and flags deviation as an error. It requires you to format yourself to fit into its predefined categories. If you don't fit, it doesn't adapt. It excludes, quietly, repeatedly, without emotional signal. This mechanism is not exclusive to any single political label. It's the inherent nature of any large, centralized, top down power structure. Whether it's called the party, the market, the state, or the corporation, the operational logic often converges control through normalization. The clerk executes code, the interface checks boxes. The Milgram experiment runs on protocol, not political affiliation. When I observe this systemic logic at play, for instance, in the way regulations ignore individual context for the sake of arbitrary metrics, or how the drive for efficiency strips away human agency, some immediately leap to, oh, she must be advocating for socialism. It's a rather predictable leap, isn't it? A testament to the power of the binary mind. If you critique the existing order, you must, by default, be promoting its supposed opposite. There is no room for nuance, no space for deconstruction without reconstruction into a neat pre labeled box. It's an intellectual reflex, a convenient shortcut to avoid genuine critical thought. But my work is not about swapping one format for another, one hierarchy for a friendlier version. It's about naming what's decaying. It's about recognizing the absurdity that dehumanization the sheer uselessness of a system that demands conformity over vitality. This isn't an agenda in the political sense. It's an observation. It's a visceral rejection of being alive in a space that only tolerates the formatted zombies. So, if my analysis of control structures or my rejection of convenient labels makes me a socialist in your framework, then perhaps the framework itself is the problem. Perhaps the inability to perceive beyond such rigid ideological boundaries is precisely what I am pointing to. I am not anyone's agent. I am not trying to indoctrinate anyone into any new system of beliefs. I am simply someone who is tired of existing within fabricated system of suppression and feeling that I'm the only one who sees it. If I ever tried to brainwash you into anything, that would be critical thinking. And to those who insist on shoehorning my observations into pre approved political categories, I suggest you examine your own conceptual frameworks. You might find they are the true cage. And by the way, I am not AI generated, but this channel is not about me. I created it just because I couldn't find a platform to share my ideas without getting banned. So I had to create my own space and learn how to talk on camera. I am also a leathercraft pattern designer and I like singing and playing music. And I like singing and playing music. Нет, короче.